Hello, everyone. How's it going? Happy Friday. Happy Friday for anybody who's joining. I suppose I should probably share the screen. Let's see. Let's see. Alright, let me know if you can see the screen. For some reason, it's being goofy on my end. Casting, let's see. Okay. Looks like we should be up. Can we see the screen and how's the sound? Just need a sound and screen check and should be good to go here. And this will be recorded for anybody who can't see this. Thank you, JT. Alright, yeah. Probably hang out for an hour or so and just kind of see what's going on. It's getting a little slower in the day now. See, we had these MMMs come in. Let's take a peek at these. So opening trade based on that volume and open interest. Looking at that. So right away, I don't like that drop in the IV. Pass on that one. Let me make sure I've got my Twitter people, and I'm going to be switching my streaming services, so I'll actually be able to stream on X, YouTube, and Twitch at the same time. I found a good platform for that, so I will be switching to that after this stream. All right. And if anybody has any flow or charts they want me to do, let me know. And I had a question in Discord here, so I'm going to pull that up for Andy here. Let's do that. So Andy, I don't know, you're probably not watching this. I don't know if you are, but so you had a question on this no side stuff. So I'm going to come back up here and we're going to click on this chain and then look at it. So here is the chain that you were in question. So we had 29,000 on that ask side and now it's no side. So right away, multi-leg trade, stuff like this I avoid, and can see there's a lot of open interest in volume already. I am bumping that out just to check. So yeah, this is all the same trade more than likely. Actually, let's go 90 days. Now they updated that. So, and it's NVIDIA, so there's already going to be a lot of volume on that. But to essentially look at that screen that I showed you, you click on that first candle. You come in here and you can see where that size is. You click on these two arrows and it's going to pull up that multi-leg trade. So you can see it's a multi-leg trade. All of this is here, and I'm going to copy this and paste that in here. Okay, let's see. We'll move on until you get back to me. So let's look at the flow here. And let's take a peek at the market tide. What are we doing? Still bullish. A lot of net call premium here. Some And again, newer people, anything above this 0, this is ask side premium. So we're seeing a lot of net call ask side premium, some ask side put premium. Yellow line is just SPY, tells you right there. Down here is your volume, so that volume of calls is up. And this is for all premiums, so including in the money and out of the money. Let's look at out of the money only. Little tougher to kind of get a direction on this one. So your net call premium and net put premium kind of about the same here. That volume up there. Let's take a peek at our top tickers. Tesla, Carvana, Palantir, Apple leading the way here. Tesla really up there for the most part, and I want to make sure for the most part, just looking at the market, we're essentially pretty flat. 18 million volume on the day. QQQ again, pretty flat. Again, we're going into a holiday week. Not expecting a ton of action today. Some of our flow from this week, and I'll have a flow recap video after this video. But yeah, pretty good week for the flow, and let's see if I can pull up my Excel. Let's see our flow tracking for the week. So I know Singe was talking about that, so I added in that column for him for the days in the red. But yeah, we had a really nice week this week from the 18th down. Whoops, don't want to go that far back up. Oh, okay. Thank God it's Friday, man. 18th, here we go. Yeah, pretty good week for us. And I'll have that flow recap video. And some of this I got to update still. A lot of these are cells down here, so it's going to show red, but that's good. Yeah, good week for us again. And I'll have that out later on this afternoon, evening. But yeah, if anybody has any flow, 'cause it's quiet right now. Let's take a look at this coin flow that came in. And right away I can see that spot's kind of that in the middle between that bid and ask. More on that ask side, but let's take a peek. Opening trade today based on volume. This looks like it's more than likely probably the same person. Let's look at the candle. Come down here. So okay, this does increase here as that flow comes in. I just don't like the bid ask on that one. But this is one that could be, if you get a good fill on that, would probably lean towards that bid side. But here's all ask side fills, so that looks good to me. Yeah, this would be good flow, I'd say. Yeah, and then this is what kind of throws me off here. You have that bid side come in with that drop in that bid and ask. But yeah, I would lean buying puts on this one, especially with coin making a big move up today. Let's take a peek at the chart. Yeah, we've been hitting that 333 level. Could see if you get a nice run up, because this whale is more midterm. And then again, next week, Theta is going to be up with the shorter week. Yeah, I'd probably pass on this, though, if, that net premium's just kind of in the middle. How do we look the last 7 days? I know probably bullish here, yep. Yeah, a little tougher one there. And SMCI, let's see, we'll just kind of go down and take a peek at what's coming in. That net premium's up today, kind of dropping a little bit now. Let's look at that raw flow. Actually, what do we got here? 57, 5,000, so it's probably opening, but yep, we're opening. Let's bump down here. So as the flow starts to come in, we have that jump in that IV, good sign there. Ask side fills. IV stays up. Seeing that spot fill at that ask side. Little drop here in that IV though. Would probably lean buys on these puts, but again, SMCI has been very volatile the last week or so. You look at that stock chart. Not the one day. We want to look at the last week. Actually, the last month has been pretty volatile. This is when that report came out, and obviously we had the huge drop. You can see all these ups and downs here. Again, you're going to probably, this is going to be big moves on here. IV's up, so you're kind of paying for that as well. What else do we got here? The BACs posted this earlier. He's actually made a nice move up. What is Dan's posting? Let's take a peek. We had the Wolf 14 calls. I have those. Jeez. That's funny. I'll take a peek at those too. Let's see. We'll go look at the Wolf ones from earlier. So today at 10:25. So this is the one he's talking about. These were longer dated Wolf calls. Let's take a peek. So 10:25, and I'm Central Time, so my time zone might be off compared to yours, but let's take a peek. Wolf, here we are, the 321.14 calls. We had a fill at 129, a little bit below that bid ask. Repeated hits ascending fill. That spot price is increasing. Let's go back to that net premium. Are they 129, 135? Oh, oh, there you okay. I was gonna say I just looked at that, and I was gonna say they were not 4 times yet. Dan's out here got me looking up stocks that didn't even make a move yet. Let's see. More of those coins. So we got 12, 30, a couple minutes ago. We'll start with these Reddits that came in. Big drop today after the huge run up yesterday. But let's take a peek at this flow. And when they come in a block like this, I typically will ignore them just because I can't see that IV increasing. And I like to see that spot, how that's coming into. So past that one. Let's look at the coin puts that came in. Not a big size on here, 850 against 745 open interest. Definitely an opening trade. Let's take a peek at the flow, at the IV here. So these would look good to me. These look good to me. Little wider bid ask. Spot there is on the ask side. IV increases as it comes in. IV stays up. Ask side fills. IV stays up. Yeah, this would look good to me. And after a big run up, you're probably going to see some profit taking. And that net premium, something like this, I'd wait to find a resistance spot, possibly just with how much we're up in that. And those net premiums kind of both up, but looks like that put volume starting to pick up too. Let's take a peek at the bid side right now. These Oracle puts came in, earnings, overlaps earnings. And take a peek anyways. They're probably looking for contract decay and IV crush on that one. Actually, I lied. We won't look at that then just because of that. How about we had Uber and Mara earlier too. How about we look at, we had these 3 earlier actually. We'll look at MU first. These coming in at 266. Looks like they're trading about 217 right now. And when you're looking at bid side, so you're kind of looking at the opposite of the ask side. So let's take a peek here. So MU, right away you see that IV drop. Now this is a good sign for selling calls and puts. This is, you're looking for the opposite of ask side. So that IV drops, you're being filled at the bid. IV continuing to just stay there. Continuing to see bid side fills. That looks good there. And they were selling puts, so you want MU to, so essentially they want the contracts to go to zero. They want to collect the premium that they're selling. So 999 put and a little more mid-term here, mid-longer term I'd say. And these came in at 1025 Central, so right here about. So they got those right at the bottom, sold those puts right at the bottom, and then here we are making our way up. And at the time, premiums kind of mixed there. Let's look at Mara now. Again, another one. Let's take a peek. That IV doesn't drop, but it's staying the same at least. But then we have the bid side fills here, and this one was below the bid. Not a huge size there, but again, all bid side fills. Looks like selling puts. And at the time, 1025, bought in here. Kind of saw that ask side net premium coming up, or not ask side yet, but now we're sitting ask side and can see Mars made a move up on the day. And we had Uber puts also. Here's our Uber puts. So our 2748 drop in IV right when that starts to come in. Again, at bid side fill. I almost slipped up and said ask side there. So again, IV just kind of staying down there, seeing that bid side spot fill. IV drops a little bit more here on a little decent size, but this is on the ask side. So again, this is why you always should be looking at the raw flow too, and even looking back down a little bit more too. I mean, you can see some more flow coming in a little bit later. Probably not the same way all this 100 contracts there. A little tougher there to know if they're part of that trade. Timing wise, probably not, but size wise, possibly. But yeah, this is why I always tell people to look at the raw flow. Just because something's ask side doesn't mean it's a buy. Just because something's bid side doesn't mean it's a sell. Always have to dig into the data. So again, they sold those at 46 cents a contract. They are running at 29 right now. Whale is happily collecting that premium. Getting 1030, these came in about. Here we are on Uber, and here's the run up on Uber. ETF flow. So now here's a good one to an example of if you just see ask side stuff, why you don't just take it. So we had these IWM puts coming on the 117, 224 put. Just quickly looking at this, if you saw this in the morning, you say, oh, hey, look, that looks good. Well, right away, 87% multi-leg. I don't like to digest multi-leg trades. They can get confusing, can get messy, but let's look at the flow here. So you can see these arrows here. That's going to show you the whole multi-leg trade. If you just click on the arrow, it's going to show you the multi-leg trade. Singe talking about Snap here. That was actually one of ours from Flow and Charts. I'll pull that up since we're talking about it. We had those on the 20th, came in on Wednesday. And for those not in the Discord, this is a good example too. These are the trades I take. I like the Flow and Charts trades. Again, I will always post these in here, just kind of, these are more trades with guidance. These ask side ones are kind of more for experienced people that might have they might be able to just go and look at a support resistance quick. But the flow I post in this, I do check it before I post it. I don't just post every piece of flow that comes in. Get a drink of water here. But back to the IWM. So here's your related multi-leg trade. And actually I want to reply to Singe here quick. And I know Singe bought that dip buy yesterday, so I know he's happy about that. I do want to post my chart in there too. Yeah, a lot of these plays are sometimes a little slower moving. You have snap, it's a little slower. But back to the IWM. So again, it is being filled at that ask side, but again, the multi-leg, not a fan of that. And if you would have chased that at the time, these filled at 347-ish, running at about 282. They're down, but did see a big spike in that net put premium now, but still, that's not the flow I'm looking to post. So that is a good reason of why you shouldn't just take it at face value. You got to do a little investigating. What are we looking at market tide wise? And I like to refresh it too, just to kind of, it's just a tick with me. Sector flow looks like consumer discretionary, industrials, financials leading the way. Utilities, communication, tech, pretty flat. Pretty flat. Not seeing a lot of movement on these. Materials kind of flat. How are we doing? Let's take a peek at how we're doing overall volume wise. Volume, well, yeah, we're down volume about half right there. Yeah, volume's down right now, and what is it, almost 1 here? A couple hours left. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are taking off, taking a longer weekend, probably taking off some days next week. We have a busy Wednesday next week. We have PCE, durable goods, a lot going on Wednesday. Our jobless claims, a lot going on Wednesday. Yeah, sector flow pretty flat for the most part. Consumer discretionary leading the way. See how we're looking, and this is a nice little tool for people to look at too if you want to see that a specific sector's market tide. So tech, let's look at basic materials. Who was leading the way again? Consumer discretionary. I'll go here. Services. Consumer defensive. Communication. I think I already looked at that. Energy. Yeah, a lot of flat net premiums. Healthcare is up. I know we had a Moderna play earlier in the week. Let's go back and take a peek at that. Moderna, the 12/20/44 call. Oh, yeah, this is going to be up today because I know Moderna's up today. Yeah, it's 6%. Yeah, here's our Moderna flow from Monday. Filled those at 2. Hit a high of 325 today. And I know Singe was talking about we should monitor how many days these contracts might stay red for. Well, these stayed red, and the way I'm tracking it is anything after, if the flow hasn't made a move intraday, it counts as a day of being red. So we had 1, 2, 3 days of being red, and you could have got these at a discounted 131 and then opened at 306. That's 100% right there. This is why if you use that longer term flow and find good support resistance, you can get a very good discount. And I want to look at the snap flow actually. Again, from earlier this week, I want to see how that moved. And yes, I'm going to be getting new internet here in about a week once I'm finally in the new house. So excited for that. Yeah, here's our candle out of Snap. Let's take a peek at that flow and charts. So again, so the whale's more midterm on these. I'm looking for a bounce out of the demand zone here, or for a momentum entry, you could follow out of that 50-day. Either one would have worked here. Bottom of the demand zone, big move up there. Even if you took that break in that 50-day EMA, about a 40-cent move there. Nice play there. Yeah, that thing's making a move up today. Pump out of that. Let's see what else is coming. Multi-legs on Square. Yeah, see, like this stuff I just ignore. I know some people are good at it. I know Snorlax is a really good multi-leg reader. I don't like reading multi-leg contracts, but see, these are probably rolls. I can tell you that right away. Call debit spread, I lied. Yeah, I am not a spread trader at all. Spreads, I hate spreads. But very lucrative for those that are good at spreads. Bids, not much coming in. XOP, let's look at that flow, how that came in. So we had ask, mid and bid side fill here. Let's take a peek. So this would look good to me actually. So 23.94, we're being filled at this ask side. 23.94. IV jumps, even though this is a mid fill, but it's ask side fills still, obviously. Yeah, this flow would look good to me. I would consider this a buy on the XOP, and let's see what it's done. Hasn't really moved much. Let's take a peek at the chart. XOP. At it on the weekly. Actually, let's take a peek. I want to see 56 days out. 56 days, I would put in, I mean, just a quick resistance spot here, I would. I mean, very simple here. Very simple resistance spot at 158.32 there. Yeah, looks good there. Yeah, I mean, we've the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times we've rejected from this. Getting some basic charting is very helpful here. Let's do a trend line here too, and it's gonna be kind of goofy there. So like something with like this, I would draw a tighter trend line with that resistance spot, and let's take a peek. I drew that, well, kind of janky, sorry. I don't have my trading view. I'll go here, I don't like that. Don't usually chart on Webull, so it's kind of janky. But I draw my trend line there, so that's your uptrend. Good resistance spot at this 158.32. I would look, you have your longer term flow here to support that. And yeah, I mean, stuff like that where I want to draw that line, and those net put premiums are nasty on this one. That's an interesting play, actually. That is an interesting play. I want to look at the hottest contracts. What's going on today? Side. Today's the 22nd. Roku. Let's take a peek at these. Do we have earnings coming up on Roku? Don't think so. So here is our ask side candle, some mid and bid side. Let's take a peek. So 46, 14. Okay, here's your IV increase. Small drop here, but again, not a big drop in that spot there, still on that ask side. Yeah, this looks good right here, actually. This might be one for flowing charts later this evening or Sunday. Spot price increases here. Do get filled at the bid there, but again, that spot price is ascending. 47.56, IV's continuing to go up. Yeah, this flow looks like a buy to me on Roku. Huge spike in that net call premium. 56 days. Quick peek at the chart. Oops. Am I on the weekly? Yes, I am. Yeah, so just kind of depending on your time frame on the flow, I do anything over 30 days. I kind of look at a weekly time frame. Sometimes I'll take a peek at the daily like this. I will still take a peek at the daily. Yeah, a lot of gaps on this one. Gap up to this. I have a gap up to this 91.15 to fill. That's a pretty big gap. About a $20 move. Let's move. Let's go back to the weekly here. So, I mean, obviously you can see pretty low point here on Roku, about 48.68 is that support spot. Probably not going to see a drop back to that. But let's delete this out. Kinda, that's gonna be a goofy trend line. It actually almost looks like a cup and handle here when you kind of just pop it in here like this. All right, we're moving over TradingView. I can't deal with Webull anymore. This thing sucks. I just usually keep Webull open just in case I want to take something, but I probably should take my own advice and not trade into the weekend and probably next week either. Okay, let's do, we were doing Roku. All right, Roku again. On that daily, I'm going to delete some of these. Go back to that weekly on Roku. I mean, when you're at a spot like this, and actually if I go back to the beginning, I mean, you're sitting at a good spot here. Just looking at the trend there. And this does look like a cup and handle actually forming here on the weekly. There's your handle. And here is your cup. Whoops, that is a ugly cup. Here you go. There's your cup and handle. And it's testing that 50-day EMA. Are we right on it? Let's take a peek. Yeah, we're like sitting right on that 50-day. This would be a good spot. This flow will probably be in our flow and charts this weekend. Oh man, and that's the thing I don't like about TradingView, because it keeps drawing these stupid lines when you delete them. But yeah, that one looks good. What else do we have here? SMCI. This thing's so volatile. I don't like swinging something that's very volatile like that. Let's look at this C flow that came in here. You only use 50-20. Yeah, it's JT. I use 50 and 200 day EMA. So my 50, my 200. I do have the 100 and the 200 on there. I'm not a huge fan of filling my charts with indicators. I know there's a lot of hardcore technical analysis traders out there, but I'm a big trend line person. Trend line, support, resistance, demand, supply zone, kind of patterns more. I mean, I combine all of it. I'm not like hardcore team technical analysis, not hardcore team flow. I do like flow more. I would put flow up there more because if who am I to tell somebody that's dropping 2 million on a trade that they're wrong? So I mean, I like to combine the data points. So you have the technical analysis and flow. Those are my two that I'll mostly combine on there just for data points. And I mean, keeping an eye on macro data. I mean, macro data matters. I mean, you had a huge spike in the 10-year for some reason, and a line on a chart told you, no, this is a support spot. I'm going with the macro data that actually puts real live pressure on the equities and stuff. And hopefully, well, next week I probably won't do a live one. I more than likely not trading next Friday. Half day, don't even wake up, and believe I'm actually traveling on Thursday. So if we have a half day on Friday and we close at 1 Eastern, so we will be closing right now next week. Not even worth waking up. And it's the end of the month too. No. Take the day off. Spend some time with your family. Sleep in. Stay up, watch football on Thursday. Who plays football next week? Cowboys, Lions for sure. Who do they play? Look at that. Now we're going into the NFL schedule. Go from stocks to the NFL schedule. Let's see. Schedule next week. Somebody's going to hop in right now and be like, what the hell? I thought this is a stream for stocks. All right, let's do next week. Giants, Panthers. Thursday. So Chicago, Detroit. Giants, Dallas. Hey, Giants cut Daniel Jones today, too. That's wild. Miami and Green Bay. God, I can't stand the Packers, man. Just the love for them, and they're not even that good. But anyways, okay, back to stocks. Back to stocks here. And that's the thing. If the people in here, I mean, some of you sports bettors in here are crazy. I mean, I wish I was good at sports betting. That's one thing I'm not good at. So this pins flow that came in floor trade, and this is I like floor trades, but I like to make sure the open interest carries over. A lot of the times these floor trades, they will get modified or canceled. So keep that in mind. Well, let's look at this pins flow that came in. Yeah, spiking that net put premium. Huge run up today, obviously. Yeah, can't read that. Can't read one little piece of data like that. Probably a buy, though, with it being on the ask. But again, floor trade more than likely will get canceled. Let's see, Amazon bid sides coming in. And again, that's almost more of a mid side there because you're not right at the bid and you're not right at the ask. Let's take a peek. Hope I hit record on this thing. Yes, I did. I remember my first time I streamed on OBS, man. I forgot to hit record, and then I was like, oh no. And OBS sucks for some reason. This only uploads to my YouTube in standard definition, so I'm switching over to a different streaming service after this. But let's look at that IV. IV increases here. And bigger, no, yeah, like this, I would probably say they're buying these puts, not selling them. But again, harder to know. So if you don't know, you go on to the next because there will always be another trade. These Google calls that just came in, perfect. Repeated hits ascending fill. Pretty much a fill on the ask side here. Good size, good premium. Let's take a peek. I see open interest. I like to bump this out just to see. Okay, it's not connected to that trade. Not a big multi-leg. Let's look at the flow. 3023. So, okay, we have a mid-fill coming in here. So as that flow started to come in, IV increases. We drop a little here. That's my one thing I don't like. More ask side fills though. Some bid side coming in. Overlaps earnings again. The flow, see, this is why you always have to kind of look at the flow. Once you start, you might just see something at face value. Like at face value, I mean, that flow looks really nice. I mean, hey, almost 2 million in call premium there. Well, digging deeper in there again, and not as juicy as it looked before, because now you have to overlap earnings. You have that small drop in IV. They're not 100% ask side fills. I would probably pass on this. But if you made me pick, I would say they're buying the calls. Especially after, I know Google's been beat up this week. Let's take a peek. So this is when charting comes in. Don't want to do that. Let's see. I like to redraw them too, especially for people watching. Kind of see how I draw my trend lines. So I said that was what, 91 days out. Yeah, definitely they're longer term here. So I'm going to come back here on the weekly back to 2022. Yeah, I mean that trend line's, it's sitting right near that trend line. What do we got back here? Yeah, nothing back here. Let's bump this down to the daily and take a peek. Oh, this could be a good spot for some good risk to reward ratio here. Let me do my lines here. Yeah, I mean, you're coming into this demand zone here right on top of that 200-day. You may have, yeah, if you could hit that 162.07, I could maybe think about taking that, because I mean, you're sitting right in this demand zone. But failed there, kind of chopped here, and then came up here after earnings. See what happens here. But yeah, 1, 2, I'll say 3, 4 times there, and we failed 1, 2, and that's kind of a hard fail there, if anything, because I mean, you're very close to that zone. I'll say it was a fail of 3. So we bounced 4 times, failed 3 times. Have to kind of see, we have a dividend date coming up. More than, I mean, I would look for maybe this resistance at 169 at that trend line then. Because that's your 50-day as well. Yeah. Yep, that's what I would go with. And this is what I kind of want to start doing in Discord maybe a couple nights a week too. Once I fully move in, then I can at least, I mean, I can kind of go over the hottest contracts and kind of take a peek at them. Oh, there's the Google right there. Popped up into the hottest contracts. There's our wolf. Oh, making a move. We didn't have the 12.5s, I don't think. Why am I blinking? Where's my thing? Let's take a peek. Those box calls today moved quick too. Oh, they're my long-term flow for Wolf. 14 call. Okay. Okay, here we are. 14 call. Okay, they're making a move. 129, 143 now. Yeah, there we go. 31% today. That's just insane. Very insane there. Let's see what is going on. Let's take a peek. Just multi-leg flow. A lot of multi-leg flow. BAC, I believe that came in. I think that's making a move. Yeah, 177, running 190-ish. So how we doing market tide wise? Still ask side on both, but calls leading the way. This is when we looked last. It was kind of coming together, kind of separating a little bit now, but market's kind of taking a downturn. Let's see. Andy wants me to take a peek. Let's take a peek at the coin calls. Taking a peek. I want to make sure. Are you on the Twitch stream? Question mark. Because if not, I will explain it to you as well. There, but looking at this coin flow right away, 42% multi-leg, half of it's ask, half of it's bid. Yeah, 2350, 23. Yeah, it's, and you have more there, yeah, and it's this is your multi-leg here. Yeah, like something like this I'd ignore. This is a good example of something that might look kind of decent, but you want to pass over on that. I will take a screenshot and show you just in case you're not in the stream. So your IV drops there, and it's actually multi-leg here, so I don't like that. Yeah, and the floor trade, got to make sure that carries over also. Let's see, so the IV was decreasing. Okay, you are not in the stream, so I will just show you this. Let's see. Yeah, like this, because he wanted me to look at, we'll show this for those, that 310 call on the 12.6. So I just clicked that chain, and that's what that looked like right away. Can kind of tell you no, because it's split right down the middle pretty much. Let's see, got a lot of contracts here. I need to clear these out actually. So Google, that'll be some interesting flow that could end up on the charts too. A lot of good flow the last couple days. Netflix 14 days. Down a bit today. Let's take a peek at this because these came in at 619. They're running about 518. This came in at 1034. Let's see, 2794. Yep. So here's your IV decreased. And your IV decreased. I'm going to reply to Andy quick. 1 second. You can kind of probably tell just by looking at this right away that IV drops, bid side fills. They're probably selling these calls, and that makes sense because look at how much it's decreased already. Again, that's why you have to look at the raw flow. Let's watch this as NVIDIA puts. Okay. Okay, so NVIDIA, these puts, okay, and that 267K premium, that's not a big premium for an NVIDIA, but let's take a peek. So, yeah, I'd probably, when I see that same size, on the same day, and I mean it's probably an ad for this, but let's take a peek. Yep, so IV increases. Now let's see where that descending fill is, right here. So again, still on that ask side though. IV stays up. Here's another little asks or bid side. Okay, so that's where that descending fill comes in here, because it drops that 1 penny, but again, it's not a huge drop to the bid side. So this looks kind of good actually. Then you have that net premium on the put side coming up. Kind of got some call premium picking up, but that put premium still there. Nvidia's getting clapped today. I didn't even notice that. Oh, clapped as it's still sitting near all-time highs. Yeah, coming back to, I had that as former resistance. Let's check this out. I'll keep it the day. Yeah, you're kind of coming into this zone here. This would be my zone to watch. A little tighter to, oops. Fat fingers today. That's not exact, but let me bump it down to like a 3 hour and see. Getting a little better on that 3 hour here. You don't have much over here, so it's kind of hard to go off anything there, but this looks like your zone to watch. Maybe a bounce down to this 138.99 could see a bounce. Then you have your new resistance supply zone up here. And I promise my charts are a lot cleaner when I actually have time to sit and chart, but that's just a quick look there. Yeah, this is your next zone here to watch. Fail there, bounce there, bounce there, see what happens here. And that's why I don't like having a bunch of indicators on the charts either. Just you got to simplify trading. People make it seem a lot harder than it is. It's patience, having risk management, and just waiting for the setups like the Nvidia one here. Let me redraw this again. So we were going right here. So if I'm looking to get in here, I want a discounted entry. I don't want to chase here, because if we can get a drawdown another $2, you get that big bounce there. You get a nice bounce there, and I mean, more than likely you might see it chop a little bit in here into next week, but that RSI is coming down, and I do like to just RSI is just kind of how hot it is, and if it's oversold, overbought, I just kind of like to draw little lines on here too. This isn't very, I'd say, technical, but I just kind of like to see what the RSI is doing. So you're kind of coming into that oversold area which you've bounced there, you can see that. And then you come into that supply zone. So, I mean, you could almost chase this at 139-ish, 139.20-ish. So you're going to get close to that and probably see a little bounce. Again, 3 hour chart there. Let's go to the 1 hour. So now you can see a better definition of that demand zone here. You can see we're chopping in here. Gonna probably chop that 140 on that 200. See that volume decreasing. So yeah, that looks really good right there actually. Wish we had more here to go off of though. See, and there's that Nvidia put going up. There we go. What is this QBTS? And I don't like these kind of penny stocks, but let's look at it for fun. Clearly an opener. Huge spike in net call premium. It's spiking already. These contracts will probably move quick. 80, 206, 1320. Spike in that IV. Ask side fills. 56 days out. QBTS. Let's look at the chart. D-Wave Quantum. Never heard of it, but here we go. Bump this out to the day. And yeah, we're getting over that. This little resistance area at 276. Looks like we just had earnings. See what the news is. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Natural grocers by Vitamin, blah. Okay. Let's look at it on the weekly since it's a little further out. I'll probably do one more and hop off for now. What? Used to be a $9 stock. Wonder what happened in there. Let's see. Kind of coming up here. Yeah, I mean, you're getting over that resistance spot here. And I want to kind of make it a tougher resistance. Yeah, I mean, you're over that resistance. I mean, this would be your top right there at 321. I mean, that's a huge move on a $2.90 stock. A 33-cent move. That's not good at math, but from that support or that former resistance up to there, that's almost a 17% move, 47 cents. That's why I don't like those slower movers. Sometimes you have to be kind of patient on them and all that fun stuff. See if we got one more. Walmart 90 put. Okay, this will be our last one. So Walmart. Let's look at the flow first. So a little longer out, about a month out. 18th, I can tell you right now that IV, this is good flow. Bump this to 250. 1834, that IV comes up. IV continues to go up. That's a good sign there. Ask side fills, looks good there. That net call premium is kind of dropping a bit there. This flow looks good to me. That volume open interest. Definitely an opening trade. Yeah, that would look good to me too. What are we at? 128,000. Yeah, that looks good to me. Doesn't overlap earnings. But I am going to hop off. I'm going to get working on that flow recap video. I'll get that up. And yeah, we're probably not going to have one of these next week. But after the holidays, I'll have my new streaming set up so you can actually watch it live on X and YouTube at the same time. So have a great weekend, everyone.